Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Drizzleland Official Bears video here for your update for the draft and everything else that's going on in the world of Bears Nation. So, what is my honest opinion of the draft for the Chicago Bears? I think we were the winners in that division because if you look at what the Packers did, offensive line, offensive line, offensive line, offensive line. Well, that's not going to help you into the middle of the season and the playoffs. I'm sorry, Green Bay, but if you have absolutely no receivers or running backs or tight ends or anybody to help Rodgers out, sorry, you're not going to get past the second round of the playoffs. Same thing that happened last year when you guys got annihilated by the Buccaneers, which I laughed and giggled, and I thought was really, really funny. I'm sorry. And then we have let's get into the Bears draft. So you draft a really talented receiver in Daz Newsome, which I am really happy for that because the Bears needed a lot of help in receiver. Then you go out and get the guy from New England, Dante, I think that's what his name is, Bird. That's a really good pickup. I think that Jennings is going to do a great job protecting your future quarterback. In Justin Fields, Ohio State, the runner-up. In my honest opinion, that dude should have won the national championship. Mac Jones, Mac Jones was on an average Alabama offensive team. I just feel like he was just throwing it out there like airballing it and expecting people to catch it, which, okay, yeah, you had like Dante Smith and Jalen Waddle and a few other, key weapons there. But let's be honest, were those guys really that impressive compared to like a Trevor Lawrence or a Travis Etienne? My book, not really, honestly. That's why a lot of those other players went to up and coming teams. So, as a Bears fan, I would say getting Justin Fields is probably the best decision that the Chicago Bears have done in the past 25 years. You need a franchise quarterback. Let the kid sit there, learn under, two people who have started in the league. I'm not really an Andy Dalton fan, but I will say that he will teach Fields what he needs to learn. And maybe even the Nick Foles thing might pay off in the end. Maybe he will, get a little bit more active in helping this kid develop. Defense, I'm completely okay with the decisions that the Bears drafted for defense. I think our offense should be much better. We've got Allen Robinson coming back. Anthony Miller, even if he leaves, we still have a plenty of talent that was drafted and that is already on the team. I would predict that the Bears should have a winning record next season. I'm going to say probably maybe 10 and maybe like a 10-5 record, I think. If Aaron Rodgers does leave that division, that's going to help the Bears develop all their younger players. And we're going to have a lot of talent and receiver, tight end, running back. Again, they drafted a lot of young, talented guys that were overlooked. Kids out of North Carolina, the receiver, he should be really good for us. Daz Newsome. That I've even watched that kid play against a few different teams like Clemson and Wake Forest. Even as a Notre Dame fan, I watched him compete against us, and he was pretty impressive, honestly. So I would say that that's a weapon that we need to use with no Cardell Patterson coming back because you let him walk in free agency. Now a lot of people are still up in arms against the Kyle Fuller thing too. But I feel like with the defensive players that we drafted coming into this situation, we shouldn't have any problems being an offensive and defensive threat in that division. Um, Now, I'm not sure what we're going to do against the Buccaneers because they just keep re-signing all their players, and who knows at this point. But I do believe that the Bears should have at least a 10-5 season, I think, next year, as long as we don't rush Justin Fields into that, you know, head-on collision thing. We need to develop the kid. We need to get him into the proper mental state and physical state to be able to take over that quarterback job. I think it probably might happen in like a year from now, but I think that we need to let him set, learn his trade. He's going to be good. I watched this kid play big time games against a lot of big time rivals in college, and he showed up. He made sure that he had a voice and a valid winning streak against his rivals. Um, I'm very impressed with Justin Fields. I think that was one of the best drafts for the Bears probably in the last 25 years. I'm going to get out of your hair. So, yeah, Bears down, and the Bears finally did something good this offseason.